What's up, sports fans? This is the Lucas Ross Sports Channel, and it's time to give you my 2023 preseason college football top 25 poll heading into the 2023 college football season. And we're just about 3 weeks away from the 2023 college football season. We have completed our predictions and also our conference standings / conference championship predictions, and also your postseason predictions. College football playoff predictions came out a couple days ago, and then yesterday I gave you my New Year's Six bowl predictions as well. We're just about 3 weeks away now from college football, and why not give you my preseason college football top 25? I was going to not do this video till next week, but I thought I'd just do it today because I didn't have any other video suggestions to do on this channel. So like how this video is going to work, we're going to give you the top 25 teams here, and pretty much, these are going to be based off of my predictions, and also these are going to be based off, which team has high expectations this year heading into 2023, and they could have a really good season this year. So that's how the top 25 works, and also this is going to be based off a little bit from last year as well. I've done other top 25 videos throughout the channel, throughout the off season. You can come back and watch those videos. I gave you a way too early top 25. Post-spring top 25 as well, so you can go back and watch those two videos and everything. Well, let's get right into it here with my preseason college football top 25 predictions. We'll start from the bottom and work our way to the top, and we'll start from 21 through 25. I got Iowa, Ole Miss, Wisconsin, North Carolina, and Oklahoma here from 21 through 25. I'm going to start with Oklahoma here first. If you saw my college football playoff prediction video a couple days ago, I did predict the Sooners to go to the college football playoff this year. And like I said a couple days ago, I think for the first time we're going to see a couple of two-loss teams get into the college football playoff this year. And I think it really come down to Oklahoma with a tiebreaker to Alabama. And I think Oklahoma gets in this year, but like I said a couple days ago, I don't feel very confident with Oklahoma getting in there. But this is a team that I think is going to be really good. I mean, I know they're coming off a 6-7 season last year, but this is a team that I think will be really good. Dylan Gabriel's back at quarterback, and I think he's going to be really consistent this year. I mean, a lot of people are kind of doubting him a little bit, but I think this is going to be an Oklahoma team that will be really good. Defensively, if they can get that sorted out, they really could be good this year. They're heading into last year, the Big 12, so we'll see how it goes this year. And I also have them winning the Big 12 championship as well against Texas in that revenge game. So at number 22, I have North Carolina. North Carolina, I think, is going to be a really good team this year. I think, obviously, when you look at this team, they're going to be really good on the offensive side of the football. Defensively, they might have some question marks there, but I think this is still going to be a really talented team here. I think they have what it takes to get to the ACC championship this year. The bad news is I don't have North Carolina going to the ACC title game because it came down to a tiebreaker between Florida State and North Carolina. Kind of the same way with the Big 12 championship game, but I think North Carolina, they kick off their season about 4 weeks and everything. That's the big week anyway, heading into the 2023 college football season. North Carolina will play South Carolina in that game, and South Carolina, I don't think you'll see them on this top 25 because I think it really came down to really a close tiebreaker for number 25. We'll get to that in just a second. Wisconsin at number 23. This is a team with a new head coach with Luke Fickell. I think they definitely deserve here to be at the top 25 just because of the hiring of Luke Fickell and obviously the hype they're getting this year as well. I don't think they're going to be ranked inside the top 15, though. I think they still have a long way to go before they get ranked in the top 15. I mean, if they start to win, more games, I could probably put them there at the top 15, but I'm not really that too high on Wisconsin. I only have them winning 7 games this year in Luke Fickell's first year. I had them finishing 7-5 because that Big Ten West is wide open. I don't really see Wisconsin, winning that division, but you never know. Wisconsin could make a big jump this year after having a, really tough season last year, going 7-6. So maybe this year they can have a really good season. But it's a new head coach, new coaching staff and everything. But this team returns a lot of production coming back this year in the 2023 season. Then I have Ole Miss here at number 24. This is a team that is going to bring in a ton of transfers this year. They do have a pretty tough schedule, though. When you look at their schedule, out of the non-conference, they'll play Georgia Tech and Tulane. You got Tulane, the highest group of 5 team from last year. Georgia Tech is not going to be really that good this year. I don't really think they are, but I think they're going to be a sleeper team in the ACC. So Ole Miss has a pretty tough schedule, but this team still is going to be ranked in the top 25 because they brought in a ton of guys from the transfer portal, and they should be overall still a really good team. So I think Ole Miss here deserves to be ranked in the top 25, and they can definitely challenge for the SEC West this year against those top, two teams like LSU and Alabama. I think they have the talent, to compete with Alabama and LSU, but I think Ole Miss, defensively, they just haven't been able to get it done, throughout Lane Kiffin's few years there at Ole Miss. So we'll see if they get that defense sorted out. Like I said, they brought in a ton of guys in the transfer portal, so that really should help them out this year. Then Iowa at number 25. Just talked about it a while ago. It was a really tough, pick here for the number 25 spot. I had, 3 options: Iowa, South Carolina, and Kentucky perhaps, and also some other teams. But I decided to go with Iowa. I mean, I know Iowa is a team that, was really decent last year, but also they were up and down on the offensive side of the football. I think offensively they're not going to be really good, but defensively I think they're going to be pretty strong. And plus, I do have them winning the Big Ten West this year, so I think that's the reason why I have to put them here at number 25. But this is a team that has to get things going on the offensive side of football, and I think Cade McNamara will help them out just a little bit, but I don't think it will be enough to be a high-powered offense. So Iowa here at number 25. Those are the rankings from 21 through 25 for me. From 16 through 20 now, let's start with TCU, Texas Tech, and then Tulane and Kansas State here, and then Oregon State at number 16. So Oregon State here at number 16. This is a team that, I kind of been, really high on heading into 2023. I know this is a team that, probably won't challenge for the Pac-12 championship this year, but this is going to be a pretty good team. They return a lot of production from last year, and plus you got DJ Ogilvie coming in, the transfer from Clemson. How good of a quarterback can he be? If DJ Ogilvie stays consistent for this Oregon State team, Oregon State could really challenge for the Pac-12 championship this year. But that Pac-12 is going to be really competitive this year, and it will be always competitive. It's been competitive now for the last couple years. Could this finally be the year where Oregon State maybe shocks the world and wins a Pac-12 championship? I really don't see that happening, but I think it is really possible for Oregon State to do that. So Oregon State here at number 16, Kansas State at number 17. The defending Big 12 champions, I think this is going to be a pretty good Kansas State team, but I think this will kind of be a step-back year for them. I mean, this is a team that I don't really expect to be all that good this year. I mean, I know they bring in a ton of veteran players from last year's team, but I just think it's going to be a step-back year with the schedule that they have. And also the Big 12 is going to be a really competitive conference like it is with the Pac-12. And I think Kansas State, I think they'll have a really tough time getting to the Big 12 championship with the kind of schedule they have, because they do have to play Missouri in the non-conference as well. And I do have them, losing that game. So Kansas State here at number 17. And I got Tulane here at number 18, the only group of 5 team here in the top 25. Tulane was the highest group of 5 team from last year. I think there is no reason for Tulane to be put in here. Tulane, I think, is a really good team this year. You see the production that they have coming back this year. It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot for this Tulane team, a veteran experienced team. And I also have them going to a New Year's Six bowl game as well. And I do have them, predicting to go to the to play against Clemson in the New Year's Six bowl as well. You can go back and watch that video yesterday where I had Tulane in the New Year's Six bowls and everything. But this team does have a lot of production coming back. They do have a tough schedule. When you look in the non-conference, like I just mentioned, they play Ole Miss and everything on that schedule. The good news is they get that game at home. So Tulane here, I mean, there's no reason for me to put them in here because they were the highest group of 5 team from last year, and I think this is going to be a team that will be the highest group of 5 team. I don't think they're gonna really move inside the top 15 though. I mean, this is a team that doesn't really play anybody that's on their level. You had Houston, UCF, and, Cincinnati all move to the Big 12 this year. And that's going to kind of hurt their chances to not move up to the top, 10 and everything. So Tulane here at number 18. Then Texas Tech here at number 19. This is a team that I'm pretty high on this year. I think this is going to be your dark horse contender in the Big 12 this year. I think they can really challenge, Texas in the Big 12 and obviously Oklahoma perhaps as well. Texas Tech does have a non-conference game with Oregon on the schedule. Their schedule is a little bit tough, so that's the reason why I do have them predicting to go 8-4 or maybe 7-5 was my prediction for this Texas Tech team. I think this is a dark horse contender. I mean, like I said, the Big 12 is going to be competitive this year. I think Texas Tech really joins that dark horse conversation and definitely, maybe could potentially switch things around and be a Big 12 championship contender as well. But they're at number 19 here. Then TCU, another Big 12 team. I know TCU is going to lose a lot of production this year, but this is going to be still a really good team. You look at the roster and everything. Defensively, they have a lot of production coming back on that side of the football. Offensively, I know they lose a lot. Max Duggan is gone, but TCU is still going to be a pretty good team. And I think in real life, when you look at the AP poll, which I think is going to be coming out in a couple weeks, I think they'll still be ranked inside the top 20 perhaps, or maybe outside the top 20, but maybe even put them in a top 15. But I think I'm going to put TCU here outside the top 15. I don't think they're going to be that same TCU team like they were last year, but I think they are number 20 here on my top 25 poll. So let's now go through 11 through 15. That's from 16 through 20. 11 through 15, I have Oregon, Texas, Notre Dame, Tennessee, and Utah. Utah here at number 11. This is a team that's won the Pac-12 for the second straight year in a row. They're looking to make it 3 in a row this year. This Utah team is going to be really good. Offensively, when you look at their offense this year, Cam Rising back at quarterback. He returned a veteran experienced quarterback this year for Utah. And defensively, they should be somewhat pretty strong on that side of the football. I think Utah's offense is a little bit better than their defense. You look at this team, they do have a pretty tough schedule, though, when you look at it. That's the reason why I have them taking a step back here. If you saw my prediction with Utah a long time ago, I predicted them to go 8-4. I think this is going to be a better Utah team than their 8-4 record. I just don't think it will be quite enough to make it to the Pac-12 championship. The schedule is tough. You got Florida in the non-conference. The good news is they got that game at home. And I do have them winning that game. And also, they do play Baylor on the road. I think that's the one non-conference game they lose to out of the Big 12. So Utah here at number 11, but I think this is still going to be a really good team. That's enough for me to put them here in the top 15. Then Tennessee at number 12. What a season they had from a year ago. This is a team that I predicted to go 9-3 this year. I think they'll lose at least 3 games this year, but I do have them losing on the road at Florida. But I could very well see this Tennessee team going 10-2 or maybe 11-1. But look what they did last year. Defeated LSU, Alabama, and Florida, and obviously some other tough teams in the SEC. I mean, this Tennessee team just made a lot of progress from last year. They're going to have the explosive offense. They're going to run to throw the deep ball down the field. Joe Milton's probably got one of the strongest arms in the country. He may not be the best quarterback in the country heading into this year, but he's definitely right there outside the top 10 in quarterback competition and everything. So Tennessee here, what I'm concerned about for them is the defense. I think they're going to be really, kind of up and down on that side of the football, but if they can get that defense situated out this year, Tennessee could be a very dangerous team heading into 2023. Notre Dame at number 13. This is a team that bring in a lot of transfers this year. I think they're going to have a better second year under Marcus Freeman. When you look at the roster, obviously Sam Hartman bring in at quarterback. I mean, Sam Hartman, I think he's the most talented quarterback, in the history of college football. Maybe I'm just, being a little bit overhyped with him, but I think this is a really good Notre Dame team this year, and I don't think Sam Hartman maybe is the quarterback to get it done at Notre Dame to make it for a college football playoff this year, but I'm telling you, Notre Dame is a serious playoff contender this year, but maybe it won't be enough to get in there because this college football season is going to be crazy, and there's going to be a lot of other teams out there challenging for that college football playoff spot. So Notre Dame here at number 13, Texas at number 14. This is a team I don't have ranked in the top 10. I know a lot of other sports channels have put Texas in the top 10, but I'm really, consistent with these top 25 picks. I don't think Texas is a top 10 team this year. I think they're just outside the top 10, but if they do enough, I will move them up to the top 10 as the weeks go by during the college football season. Texas, though, I do have them going to the Big 12 championship this year, but I do have them losing to Oklahoma in that Big 12 championship. I think this is going to be a really good Texas team, though. enough for me to probably put them in a New Year's Six bowl game as well. When you look at this roster, obviously Quinn Ewers back at quarterback. I think he's definitely a top 10 quarterback heading into 2023. And definitely the coaching staff. The coaching staff is what motivates this Texas team to probably make a run for a college football playoff. Steve Sarkisian, has definitely been there before with Alabama and everything. And that offense could be very explosive. This could be one of the top offenses in the Big 12 this year. But again, I'm not really buying Texas there inside the top 10. I think they'll be just outside the top 10 for me as the week by week goes on and everything. So Texas here at number 14. Then I got Oregon here at number 15. I think this is going to be a pretty good Oregon team when you look at the roster for them. Bo Nix coming back at quarterback. They're kind of similar to Utah. They kind of have they really have a talented roster. I mean, they obviously got a lot of production coming back from last year. And defensively, when you look at this team, they look pretty strong. I mean, defensively, I think they'll be better than Utah's, but I think Oregon will be right there, in that conversation for the Pac-12 this year, for a Pac-12 championship spot. I mean, that Pac-12 is going to be really competitive this year. We'll see how competitive it is when we reach the season in about 3 weeks, or maybe 4 weeks, I should say, because that's when Week 1 officially begins. So that's the rankings from 11 through 15. Let's now go inside the top 10, and we have Alabama, Penn State, USC, Washington, and Clemson. Alabama, obviously, at number 6. I do have them dropping out of the top 5 based off of where they were last year, but it's based off of where they are this year. You look at this roster, it may not be really good production coming back, but this team is still going to have talent, so there's no reason for Alabama to be here in the top 10. I mean, there's obviously, no reason for them to put here in the top 10 because Alabama just has a lot of talent. I mean, that's it. Alabama just still has the talent as a team. And obviously, Alabama, what I'm concerned about this year is definitely the quarterback position. I mean, obviously, we don't know who's going to be that next quarterback for them. We don't know if it's going to be Jalen Monroe or for any other quarterback that's going to step up this year for this Alabama team. I don't think the quarterback this year is going to be just like Bryce Young or maybe A.J. McCarron or Blake Sims. You look at all the talent that Alabama had over the years where, quarterbacks and everything. I think Alabama is definitely still a top 10 team, though. I think they still have a really good shot to make the college football playoff this year, but it really won't be enough there to get in there if they start to kind of lose games. A lot of people are picking Alabama to lose 3 games this year. I think they at least get, to the SEC championship this year. If you saw my conference standings and / conference championship predictions, I still have Alabama going to the SEC championship game because this team still has the talent. Penn State at number 7. This is a team that is getting a lot of hype heading into 2023. I think, I probably would have put USC ahead of Penn State just because I think USC is more talented this year than Penn State, but Penn State, I think, is getting a lot of hype. I mean, I think that's the reason why I should rank him here at number 7. But it was a really tough call here between Penn State and USC as to who should be at number 7 here in the top 25. But Penn State getting a lot of hype this year in 2023. That's the reason why they are here at number 7. This is a team that's going to be a dark horse contender in the Big Ten the Big Ten Conference this year. And then USC at number 8. I do have them winning the Pac-12 championship. That's how they ended up ahead of Washington here in the top 10 here. USC, obviously, I have them going to the college football playoff as well. And like I said yesterday, or actually in my college football playoff video from a couple days ago, I don't feel very confident with USC and Oklahoma making it to the playoff this year. But that was the only teams that we had left. Those 2 teams, USC and Oklahoma right here, they are going to win their conference championship. And that's how they could possibly get in. But if they do lose their games, I mean, Alabama and Penn State and maybe some other teams can make it in there. But, I mean, there's just a lot of question marks for the college football playoff this year. But, like I said, I think this is for the first time ever in college football playoff history, we're going to get a couple 2-loss teams in there into the 3rd and 4th seed. So USC is my pick to win the Pac-12 and obviously the number 3 seed to go to the playoff this year. Then I have Washington at number 9. This is a team that, I think is going to be really good this year. This team has a lot of production coming back. Michael Penix coming back at quarterback for this Washington team. I mean, there's not really much to talk about Washington. This team is going to be really good. That's just all I can say about them. And then Clemson here at number 10. I think this Clemson team is still a top 10 team. It's hard to predict against them because this team just has so much talent on their roster, but we've seen the offense now for the last couple years. It's been really inconsistent. They're kind of similar to like Alabama from last year. I don't think Alabama's offense was inconsistent, but it's just, the fact that they could not play against really good teams on the road. So Clemson, we saw that kind of struggle from, like last year with Caleb Klubnik in the Orange Bowl, but if Caleb Klubnik can stay consistent, Clemson will be a really good offensive team. If he doesn't, Clemson could be a really bad offense this year. But defensively, they should be pretty strong on that side of the football. I don't have Clemson winning the ACC championship. I do have Florida State winning the ACC this year. So Clemson here at number 10. Let's now go to the top 5 here. And we got in the top 5 here LSU, Florida State, Ohio State, Michigan, and then Georgia. Georgia obviously is the number 1 team. There's no question about it. No reason for me to put them here at number 1. They've won back-to-back national championships, looking to win it 3 years in a row. And they're obviously my pick to win it all this year in 2023. If you look back at my playoff predictions, I did have Georgia winning it all. And then Michigan here at number 2. I think this team wins the Big Ten championship this year. Michigan, obviously, when you look at the roster, a lot of production coming back this year. This team is just going to be absolutely loaded on both sides of the football. J.J. McCarthy coming back as well, and then you got Blake Corum coming back at running back. So, Michigan's just going to have an overall talented roster. And if you look back at my playoff predictions, I do have Michigan facing Georgia in the championship game. But I do have Georgia winning that game. And then Ohio State here at number 3. I know Ohio State's getting a lot of, criticism and everything. A lot of people are not saying this team is going to be really good. A lot of people are saying that they're going to be kind of taking a step back here, but no, I think Ohio State will be really good. I just don't think it's going to be quite enough to make it to a playoff this year, and definitely right there to the Big Ten championship. Now, I think they do have a really good shot to make the playoff, and also make the conference championship game, but their schedule is really tough. It's probably one of the toughest schedules that the Buckeyes have had for a while, but this team's going to have a new quarterback with Kyle McCord. I think Kyle McCord is a really talented quarterback. We'll see what he looks like in week number 1 when they play against Indiana and everything. And then Florida State and LSU both here at number 4 and number 5. These two teams will be playing in the biggest, week 1 game, on Labor Day night and everything, or maybe a Labor Day weekend on that Sunday before Labor Day. Florida State, I think, has the better overall experienced roster in this game, but LSU, I think, has the more talented team. We saw this game from where it went from last year. Florida State, I do have them winning the ACC championship, and then LSU, I have them just falling outside the top 5, or I should say the top 4 in the playoff rankings and everything based on my playoff predictions. I do have them finishing second place in the SEC West, but I think this team is going to challenge Alabama this year in the Big Ten West and make it to a SEC championship game perhaps. But I think Florida State and LSU, they definitely deserve to be here at number 4 and number 5, just based off of what they did last year and obviously the hype for these two teams as well. I don't think they're really talented more than Alabama, but LSU is right there with Alabama. I don't think Florida State is more talented than Alabama, but they're right there in that conversation here in the top 5 for me. So those are my college football 2023 preseason top 25 rankings. Let me guys know what you think about these rankings, who your top 25 poll as well, and let me know down in the comments below. And we should get that AP top 25 poll in about a couple more weeks. And stay tuned here for more sports content videos on my Lucas Ross Sports Channel.